That day, Farid began a new life as a Muslim by re-embracing Islam. Hafiz Shah Huzur arranged everything for him, food, shelter, and gave him the responsibility of maintaining cleanliness in the madrasa. In this way, about a month passed. Farid started offering prayers regularly, worked in the madrasa, and in his free time, he learned the Quran from whoever he could. After some time, one night, Huzur was returning home after the Isha prayer. As he was passing through a deserted place, he suddenly looked ahead and saw several tall, dark figures, massive in size, blocking his path. Huzur steadied himself, slowly moved forward and greeted them with salam, saying, "Why are you blocking my way?" From within the darkness, one of them spoke. "O human Muslim, do you even know whom you have given shelter to? He is a tantric. His hands carry the scent of human blood. Did you not smell it? Hand him over to us. We have unfinished business with him. Our master is waiting." Hafiz Shah Huzur, in an angry voice, replied, "O Shaitan, go tell your master. He is no longer a disbelieving tantric. He is now a Muslim, my brother, and the brother of all Muslims. We will not allow any harm to come to him, and if you ever block my path again, it will not end well for you or your master. Leave now, otherwise your master himself will have to come looking for you after what I do to you." As he stepped forward, the figures rose upward and began to vanish into the air. While disappearing, they said, "O human Muslim, you have made a grave mistake, a very big mistake." After this, Huzur returned home without further trouble. Later that night, he woke up for tahajjud prayer. After performing ablution, as he approached the door of his personal place of worship, he smelled a very familiar and pleasant fragrance of attar. Entering inside, he saw that his big elder, Sardar-e-Allah, was praying on his prayer mat. The entire room felt warm and peaceful. Huzur smiled slightly, then looked outside into the courtyard and saw Rahman, Sadiq, Hamza, Ikhlas, and many other Muslim jinns, followers of the big elder, had gathered there. He then joined the big elder in prayer. After finishing, they exchanged greetings and sat facing each other. The big elder began speaking. "Hafiz Shah, after Rahman told me everything, I was very angry at first. You know I do not like such matters. This man has committed terrible deeds. Through him, many evil acts of shaitan have been carried out. Was I wrong to be angry?" Huzur remained silent for a moment. The big elder continued. "But then, Rahman told me what you said about the day of judgment and testimony. I was surprised. Such a small but profound point did not occur to me. This is where Allah has distinguished humans from jinn. Humans possess a subtle depth of reasoning that jinn do not. I began to feel somewhat ashamed. Then I decided to help you. But this task is not simple. It carries risks and complications. This is not like other matters. We must take a side in a situation where the opposing side is not directly our enemy. Supporting this cause may raise many questions. I began gathering information through my informant jinns. At first, I suspected whether this tantric had come with the intention to harm you. But when I saw no such danger from him, I verified his story. And everything he told you is true. Now let me tell you what you do not know, and what even he himself does not fully know. This man, Farid, learned his tantric knowledge from Manoj Thakur. At one time, this disbeliever Nahud Fadala used to visit Manoj Thakur because Manoj worshipped him. In his youth, Manoj used Nahud's help to accomplish many great tasks, and in return, he had to give Nahud whatever he demanded, from worldly pleasures to things required for satanic rituals. But eventually, Manoj realized that Nahud was using him, and once his usefulness ended, he might kill him. This is what such jinns often do. So Manoj secretly investigated and discovered that if any external part of Nahud's body could be obtained, then Nahud would lose his power over him. But Manoj himself could not do it, because Nahud and his followers all knew him. So he used Farid. Using all his forbidden knowledge, on that deep night in the jungle, Farid managed to collect fur from Nahud's body. Manoj knew how to bring Nahud there, because Nahud frequented that jungle spot, where other jinns would offer him tributes. But when Manoj took Farid there, he was extremely cautious. He was reciting tantric incantations, and had applied a special kind of liquid substance on his body. This enchanted liquid made it impossible for demonic jinn to see whoever had it on them. That is why those evil jinn could not see either Mona Thakur or Farid. Disguised as a terrifying tiger, he roamed through the Sundarbans. That particular day was unusual, Because at the end of that day, when night would fall, Nahud Fadala would arrive at that specific place to take his offering. And that night, he did exactly that. With Farid's help, Mona Thakur managed to collect some of Nahud's body fur from deep inside the forest. This drove Nahud into a frenzy. He became desperate to recover that fur from his body. However, although Mona Thakur had taken some fur from Farid, he didn't know that Farid still had more hidden. Farid never let him realize that. Nahud became obsessed with retrieving his lost fur because he had performed a powerful magic upon his own body. This ancient magic allowed him to take on the form of any creature, from a tiny ant to any being in existence. While humans can imitate forms to some extent, Nahud's ability was far beyond that. Whatever form he took, whether human or animal, he could perfectly replicate all their abilities, even to the point of reproducing like them. This was an extremely ancient and rare magic, known only to the leaders of certain high-ranking ancient Jinn clans. However, it had one critical weakness. If even a single hair from the enchanted body was removed, the magic would break. By stealing his fur, Mona and Farid had effectively stripped Nahud of this power. This made him furious. However, there was another consequence. Nahud could not harm those who possessed parts of his body, because those very parts could be used to kill him. Driven by rage, Nahud orchestrated the death of Farid's father. Through a cunning scheme, he sent a demonic Jinn to possess a female relative of Farid, manipulated the situation, and ultimately caused his father to fall from the roof and die. Though it appeared to be an accident, it was all part of Nahud's plan. Meanwhile, Farid, out of ignorance, had unknowingly fallen into Nahud's trap. While performing magic with Nahud's help, he had given his own blood as instructed. Nahud had deliberately included this rule, knowing that whoever gave their blood would be affected by the magic. As a result, Farid himself became bound by the spell. There was another danger. The enchanted pumpkin seeds used in the ritual had been mixed with substances that would eventually cause death. After everyone else died, Farid himself would fall victim to the magic. But at the right time, Allah granted Farid the understanding of his mistake. Realizing that Nahud's fur was his greatest weakness, Farid secretly placed some of that fur at the base of the enchanted pumpkin plant. As a result, Nahud himself became trapped within the very magic he had created. In a way, Farid had done something very clever. He understood that whoever's body part was used in the magic would be affected by it. By inserting Nahud's fur into the spell, he turned it against him. Enraged, Nahud first went to Farid's house, killed his wife, and burned down his home, leaving him completely destitute. His plan was to chase Farid relentlessly until he was exhausted and then kill him to recover the stolen fur, but perhaps Allah had planned otherwise. That is why this matter eventually reached you and me. The day a monkey came to warn Farid, that very night Mona Thakur died. In truth, he was murdered. Before his death, Mona Thakur sensed the danger and sent a loyal demonic Jinn, disguised as a monkey, to warn Farid. Mona Thakur did not know that Farid still possessed Nahud's fur, but somehow through Jinn he learned of it. As soon as he realized this, he sent the warning. However, Nahud's loyal Jinn intercepted and killed that messenger. Although Mona Thakur was a tantric practitioner, he truly cared for Farid. In the end, he used his last forbidden powers to fight Nahud in an attempt to save him, and lost his life in the process. It is hard to say whether he was good or evil, but what he did is something no other tantric would ever dare to do. After saying all this, the elder fell silent. Then Huzur asked, "Is there no solution? You are such a powerful sultan among the Muslim Jinn. Can you not help Farid in any way?" The elder replied, "Hafiz Shah, I could try to solve this, but doing so would put me at odds with the leaders under my command. They are powerful, and they would question why I am helping a tantric. They do not like such people, and neither do I. Besides, Nahud is not the kind of Jinn who listens. It would be nearly impossible to summon or restrain him." He continued, "If this problem belonged to a Muslim, I would not hesitate for a moment. I would use all my strength to help. But this situation is different. If I intervene, I risk losing respect among my own kind." Hafiz Huzur responded, "You keep calling him a non-believer, but that is no longer correct. In the presence of Muslim witnesses, he has returned to the faith. Perhaps you are not aware of this. Hearing this, the elder fell silent for a while. After thinking deeply, he finally said, "Then, if you wish, I can tell you how Nahud can be defeated. You will have to do certain things first. Only then can we help you as your soldiers. From the very beginning, understand this. The task is extremely difficult. This is not something simple like going into battle and defeating him. There are many other forces at work here." Hearing this, Huzur sat up straight and said, "Very well, then tell me, how can we defeat Nahud? Whatever you say, I will try to do. I cannot let a Muslim brother die like this at the hands of an evil, devil-worshipping jinn." The elder replied, "First, go to the tree where the magic was performed. Destroy the magic of that tree and collect the fur from there. Farid still has some more fur. Gather all of it together. Then perform ruqya with the intention of destroying this disobedient, unbelieving jinn. If you do this, not only will I and my followers help you, we will even give our lives if necessary." Huzur said, "Thank you, my dear friend. I will begin this task tomorrow, inshallah. Even though you are not human, you have done so much for humanity. On the day of judgment, I will surely testify in your favor, inshallah." Hearing this, the elder smiled faintly and then disappeared. The next morning, after offering prayer, Hafiz Shah Huzur took Farid with him and went to that cursed house where the magic had been performed. There, they learned that by then, 3 members of the family had already died. After explaining as much as they could and taking permission, they began searching for the exact location of the magic. It had been performed near a tree. With Farid's help, after some time, Huzur managed to find the spot. It was an impure place where something had been buried, but neither Farid nor Huzur could locate the exact object. With the help of the family and some local people, they began digging the ground in different places. There was something strange. 3 pumpkin seeds had been planted as part of the ritual. From those seeds, pumpkin plants should have grown, but there was no sign of any plant, nor could they find where the roots were. The truth was, the growth had occurred underground. After some time, Huzur noticed a very thin black line running across the surface of the soil toward the house. Seeing this, he moved forward and stood silently for a moment. Then he instructed everyone to dig along that line. While everyone was digging, Huzur stood quietly, deep in thought. From behind, Farid asked, "Huzur, what are you thinking?" "We will definitely find it, inshallah. We're very close now. It won't take much longer." After a brief silence, Hafiz Shah Huzur said, "Farid, I had heard about this kind of magic long ago from my grandfather. He was a very pious and knowledgeable man, but I only heard it once or twice. I cannot remember it clearly now." He paused, then continued, "I believe this tree, which grew from the pumpkin seeds, is not a normal plant. It grows entirely underground, it never comes to the surface. But I have a feeling that just finding the root will not be enough. There is something more, another complication. I just can't remember what it is. I heard it when I was very young and now I've forgotten." After trying for quite some time to recall, he finally gave up. Then he said to the people around him, "Brothers, please arrange a place for me in a nearby mosque where I can stay alone for a short while. Close all the windows, make it as dark as possible inside, and until I say otherwise, no one should wander around. Be careful. As long as I remain in the mosque, no matter what work there is, no one should enter the mosque. And please give me some paper and ink quickly." As soon as the people outside heard Huzur's instruction, they followed it. Someone brought paper and ink. Huzur wrote a letter in Arabic there, then went some distance away from the house to a graveyard. At the very end of that graveyard, beside the last grave, he placed the letter under a stone and returned. After some time, when the people of the house informed that arrangements had been made at the mosque, Huzur immediately went there. Sitting in the mosque, he had arranged to bring a large amount of river water through someone. Then, sitting there, he began reciting various verses of the Quran over the water and blowing onto it, preparing it for ruqya. A little later, hearing salam from behind, Huzur turned his head and saw that Rahman Pai, Sadiq Pai, and several others from the Jinn community had arrived. After replying to their salam, Huzur asked, "Did the chief convey anything?" Sadiq Pai replied, "Huzur, after your letter reached the Sultan, he read it and called one of the most experienced and elderly physicians of our kind. He said that since this magic was performed, for every person who has died, there will be fruits buried around the roots of trees, under the soil. First, these fruits must be found and destroyed. If that is not done, or if the tree roots are removed before destroying the fruits, then the seeds inside these fruits will spread the effect of the magic in all directions. As a result, not only the affected family, but also many nearby manus, animals and birds will be afflicted by this magic. This place will eventually turn into a barren land. Not only this place, even the entire village could become like that. After hearing this, Hafiz Shah Huzur listened silently, let out a deep sigh and said, "Do you see, Sadiq, Rahman? Look and think how terrible an act that magician Ift Shaitan has committed. And yet, he probably does not even know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not placed any power or problem in this world whose solution does not exist in the Holy Quran. May the Lord of the worlds guide everyone. Anyway, why have so many of you come?" Rahman Bhai replied, "Huzur, by the order of the Sultan. He feared that if the followers of Nahud learn that you have identified this magic, they may try to harm you. That's why we have all been sent. You begin your work in the name of Allah. We will stay nearby for your protection." Huzur smiled slightly and said, "O Rahman, why does my kingly friend forget that the protector of life, wealth and honor is Allah alone? If he has written my death through this task, then who has the power to stop it? Anyway, let's begin." After some more conversation, Huzur came out of the mosque alone. Calling everyone waiting outside, he said, "Listen, all of you. First try to find the head of an impure animal. If you find it, do not touch or strike it. Inform me immediately. A few of you start searching. The rest, arrange as much light as possible around the house, because evening has fallen. Now the shaitan may try to obstruct us with its power." As instructed, work began. Around 10 to 11 at night, someone shouted and called Huzur. Everyone rushed there and saw that in the middle of the house, about 2 hand lengths under the ground, there was the head of an impure animal, a pig's head. From inside its mouth, 3 roots extended underground toward 3 directions of the house. Seeing this, Huzur instructed everyone to carefully dig and follow those roots. Soon, the ends of the 3 roots were found. Everyone was shocked to see that at the end of each root, there was a medium-sized, bright red, sweet pumpkin. And surprisingly, these pumpkins were under the ground, though pumpkins normally grow above the ground, and even their plants grow above the soil. But here, the entire plant with leaves was under the soil, though the leaves looked somewhat unusual. Hafiz Shah Huzur asked everyone to step back and himself went down. Using various amals and water, he washed the tips of the pumpkins and then, with a sickle he had brought, cut all of them and gathered them in one place. After performing certain rituals, he cut the smallest pumpkin in half. Those standing in front recoiled in fear. As soon as it was cut, bright red blood came out from inside, along with a small beating heart. Without delay, Huzur cut the remaining pumpkins as well. From them also came blood and 2 larger hearts. 3 members of that household had died. Perhaps these were their hearts. Huzur could not confirm this with certainty. However, even if he could not explain why the hearts were there, he did say that this was an ancient form of magic, and such things happen under its influence. Huzur poured kerosene over those objects and set them on fire, destroying everything. Then he returned to the pig's head and began performing amals over it for a long time, sprinkling the river water over it. After a while, it was seen that from its nose, ears, and mouth, coils of red smoke were coming out. Though the head had been there for so long, it had not decayed. This itself was very strange. After some time, the red smoke stopped. Then Huzur cut the root attached to the head and wrapped the head carefully in a sack. When he lifted it from the ground, he noticed that beneath it, on the soil, there were several thick yellow fur hairs lying there. Seeing that, Huzur looked toward Farid, and Farid gestured, indicating that these were the fur of Nahud Fadala. Huzur picked them up, soaked them in water, and kept them in the pocket of his Punjabi, then came up. According to Huzur's instructions, the entire house was dug up. The remaining parts of the roots were brought out and burned. Basically, these roots, these pumpkin plants, were slowly entering the house from underground. It was a very slow process and a terrifying form of black magic. Anyway, all of these were gathered in one place and burned. After that, Huzur provided the necessary guidance to the remaining members of the household. He performed ruqya and spent the rest of the night in abad, worship. In the morning, after the Fajr prayer, under the leadership of Hafiz Shah Huzur, everyone present performed 2 rak'ahs of shukriya prayer within the boundary of the house. After the prayer and supplication, Huzur and Farid set out toward their own area with the enchanted head. Saying goodbye to everyone, it became quite late before they departed. At that time, the roads and communication system were not as developed as today. Traveling took a lot of time, cost and effort. By the time they reached near their area, it was around 10 at night, an estimate. In rural areas, 10 p.m. is considered deep night. After getting down from the trawler, Hafiz Shah Huzur and Farid were walking back to the village under the moonlight, talking to each other. Before entering the village, they had to cross a culvert bridge built over a canal. About a 10-minute walk remained after that. Between the bridge and the village, there was only a dirt road with vast paddy fields on both sides. Since the paddy had been harvested about a month earlier, the land was dry and cracked due to lack of rain. While walking along this path, as soon as Huzur and Farid stepped onto the culvert and looked ahead in the moonlight, they froze. They saw at the other end of the bridge a huge monstrous figure with a tiger-like face, standing on two legs like a human. Its two red eyes were glowing terrifyingly, and green flames were burning at the base of its feet. Behind it, along the road, stood countless black figures as tall as long trees, at least 2,000 to 3,000 of them. Immediately, Huzur held Farid's hand, pushed him back, and stood in front. He said, "O evil devilish kafir Jinn, I knew you would come, but I did not know you would come so quickly and in such a cowardly way. Have you brought your entire tribe just to face an ordinary human like me?" Nahud roared fiercely and said, "Human, I have no enmity with you. Leave everything you have brought and leave the tantric as well, and go away from here. I will not harm you, nor do I wish to, but if you go against what I have said, then after killing you, as long as the last member of your family lives, I will remain for your family. Remember this. I will sacrifice them one by one before my Lord Iblis. Every child in your madrasa will be made a sacrifice for my rituals." As soon as he finished speaking, suddenly there was a thud behind Huzur. Turning back, he saw Farid had fallen unconscious on the ground. Behind him stood Rahman Bhai, greeting with salam. He said, "Huzur, please step back a little. Do not cross this bridge now. The chief has arrived. He will speak the rest." Seeing Rahman Bhai, Nahud shouted from the other side of the bridge, "O Muslim Jinn, why have you come?" "Go away. I have no intention of causing trouble with you, your tribe or your kind. Never had. But if you come to interfere in my work now, I will not spare anyone of your kind. This is a matter of my own life. I did not come here without reason. You know that. Even for my own life, I will kill you if you stand in my way." Hearing this, Rahman Bhai moved forward, but Hafiz Shah Huzur did not stay idle. He took off the amulet from Farid's neck and combined it with the fur he had collected, gripping them tightly in his left hand. At that moment, suddenly the surroundings grew even darker. Huzur saw that more demonic jinn had joined Nahud's side. Just then, feeling a hand on his shoulder, Huzur turned back and saw Borodada smiling slightly. He said, "Please step aside. The rest will be handled by my son Omar and his forces. Farid has been taken away. Come with me." Saying this, he pulled Huzur away from the bridge to some distance and said, "Hafiz Shah, time is very short. Start ruqya on the fur if necessary. The sooner you do it, the fewer deaths there will be. Remember, the more you delay, the more bodies will fall." Hearing this, Huzur removed his turban, spread it on the ground, sat facing the Qibla, took out water from his bag, and began his work. Meanwhile, under the leadership of Borodada's son Omar, thousands of Muslim jinn began fighting Nahud's demonic army. A terrible and bloody battle broke out. Rahman, Sadiq, Hamza, Ikram, Ikhlas, and all the loyal jinn fought with their various weapons against the evil ones. On the other side, after Huzur began ruqya, Nahud stood behind some of his followers on the bridge, trying to protect himself with his magic spells. He did not directly enter the battle. His demonic followers were fighting while some of his own jinn surrounded and protected him. It was clear that Nahud himself could not directly fight. He was trying to save his own life. Though he possessed immense power, even that power had limits. Nothing is truly limitless except the Creator, who created everything. As the battle continued, suddenly it was seen that the green flames beneath Nahud's feet went out and turned into normal-colored fire. Normally green flames always burned under his feet, but now it changed. Even though it looked normal, the heat of that fire could be felt by Huzur from where he was sitting. Immediately, everyone stopped fighting and looked toward that direction, toward Nahud's feet. Both Nahud's followers and the opposing jinn stopped and stared. Within a short time, by the mercy of Allah, fire ignited over Nahud's body. He burned completely to ashes before everyone's eyes. The powerful, evil jinn Nahud Fadala was destroyed. After his death, the demonic jinn scattered and fled in all directions, while many were captured by Borodada's forces. The saddest part was that more than 50 Muslim jinn were martyred in this battle. The most tragic part was that Borodada's own son, Commander Omar, was also martyred. After the battle, the powerful sultan, the chief, Borodada, returned with tearful eyes carrying the martyrs. Later, Hafiz Shah Huzur and Farid were escorted safely to the madrasa by Rahman Bai and others. After that, no more problems occurred. In fact, with his permission and interest, Huzur had the honor of attending the funeral prayers of the martyred jinn. 2 days after the janazah, Huzur destroyed the remaining parts of the magic and threw them into the river. About a month passed. After finishing the students' classes in the madrasa, one day after Zuhr prayer, Huzur was sitting in his office room doing some work. At that moment, through the open window without bars, a huge, pure white, cat-like creature entered the room. Huzur recognized that this was not an ordinary cat. It was the pet of Borodada, known by a special name. Its name was Namir. Borodada used to call it by this name. As soon as it entered the room, the creature came close to Huzur and began rubbing its head against his chest. Huzur smiled and gently stroked its head affectionately. Then, he noticed a piece of paper tied with a thread around its neck, so he untied it and took it. After that, he gave Namir some rice mixed with milk from his own lunch and then opened the paper. It was a letter sent by Borodada. It contained greetings and stated that he would come on the upcoming Friday night and requested Huzur to kindly arrange some sweets for him. After reading the letter, Huzur smiled slightly. After eating the milk and rice, Namir left through the same path it had entered. In fact, Namir was also a jinn, but it preferred to stay in the form of a cat, and it always stayed with Borodada. That is why Borodada loved that cat very much. On the next Friday, after finishing the day's busy schedule and leading the Isha prayer, Huzur took sweets and returned home. After eating and resting a little, at midnight he came to his place of worship and was reciting tasbih. After some time, hearing a light knock on the door, he turned back and saw Sordare Allah, meaning Borodada, and with him a very elderly person had come. After exchanging greetings, when Huzur asked about the identity of the elderly jinn, Borodada said, "He is the most senior, most experienced, most knowledgeable, and the best physician in my kingdom. When you sent a letter asking about Nahud Fadala's magic, he was the one who informed me of all the details, and I conveyed that information to you. If he had not told me, I would not have known either, because this matter was unknown to me as well. Today, when I was coming, he wished to accompany me, so I brought him along. He rarely meets anyone and does not like to go outside our tribe. He prefers to spend his time in knowledge and study, and during this time, even though you had called, he could not come because some of Nahud's close followers escaped after that battle. It took time to search for them. Some have been captured, but the rest have joined the cursed, ruthless killer Jinn Emperor Velad Kafrian to protect themselves. Inshallah, the day Allah's help comes, I will personally deal with that Velad Kafrian as well." Hafiz Huzur listened quietly, then changed the topic and asked, "Have you been able to capture the one who killed your son Omar?" Hearing this question, a deep expression of pain appeared on Borodada's luminous face. Realizing the question was inappropriate, Huzur immediately said, "Forgive me, I did not intend to hurt you. I still cannot accept from my heart the death of Omar and all the other Muslim brothers, especially your pain. I cannot bear it." Hearing this, Borodada said, "My dear friend, why are you in pain? Is this not a matter of joy for me? I'm a father who has lost his son, but my son became a martyr. These evil jinn do not recognize religion or caste. They do not recognize Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, or Christian. They only recognize their own interests, and for that, they can attack anyone. If necessary, they do not hesitate to kill even their own. Fighting against such a tribe, my son became a martyr. You know what the status of a martyr is." Hearing these words, both Hafiz Shah Huzur and the elderly jinn physician looked at Borodada in astonishment. Borodada spoke again. "You are wondering why I am happy, aren't you? On the day of judgment, when my son will be called to stand among the martyrs behind my beloved prophet, the most beloved of the Lord of the worlds, Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him, he will be called as so-and-so's son, the martyr Omar. That means my name will be mentioned, that I am his father. Can you imagine how it will feel when my name is mentioned alongside my son's? That honor, that reward, how fortunate one must be to receive it. Whether jinn or human as a father, this is why I am happy. This is why I give thanks to Allah, that He made my son a martyr, and I pray that Allah grants him the rank of a martyr. As Borodada was saying these words, Hafiz Shah Huzur and the elderly jinn who came with him were both in tears. The pain of losing a child turning into tears of joy, this is something one would not believe without witnessing it. For a descendant of a Muslim sultan, such an event is something some people hope for, but turning that hope into joy is something entirely different. The incident ends here. Farid lived for many more years after this. He served to the best of his ability at Huzur's madrasa. As far as known, in 2019, Farid passed away due to heart failure at Hafiz Shah Huzur's madrasa and was buried in a local graveyard. And the respected Hafiz Shah Huzur responded to the call of Allah in 2014, leaving many Muslims and jinn in tears. He was a very well-known person from the Kochu area of Baghahat. His children and son-in-law are still alive. His father was an even greater pious person than him. May Allah accept everyone and grant his family righteous life and the ability to serve people more. Dear listeners, this was the final incident of Borodada. I say final because no further incidents about him have been found, and the chances of finding more are very low. This story was shared by Sufyan Bhai, or Sufyan Huzur, but it was not originally his own story, and at present, even he does not have any more incidents about Borodada. That is why we are formally concluding the stories of Borodada here. Many of you want to hear more of his stories, but it is not possible for us to continue in that way. If we keep going, at some point we would have to start making things up. Since we have confirmed that there are no more real incidents, Zubair Islam Bhai said that this is the last story of Borodada. However, he has promised that if he finds any other original stories, other than Borodada's, he will share them with our listeners. Dear listeners, how did you like today's story? It had fear, joy, and mystery, all within it. I have tried to present it to the best of my limited ability. Once again, I say I am not a voice artist. I am just a storyteller. I cannot speak as beautifully as professional voice artists, and that is my limitation. Please look at this limitation of mine with kindness. Dear listeners, we have to end today's episode here. This has been the longest story presented so far. I hope you have listened to it with patience.